Hello, I'm Phil Ernest, and this is the Louvre in Paris, France. In this video, I'm in Paris, France, and I will share with you some of my favorite things about this beautiful city. If you come to the Louvre Museum via the metro system, this is what you'll see as you walk through the hallways and on to the Louvre grounds. You will see the big pyramids standing before you. These pyramids are made up of 673 glass segments, and the tallest one reaching 71 feet high. These pyramids were added in 1989. While the pyramids are a newer addition, the rest of the museum has been around since 1793, making it 229 years old. The Louvre Museum is the world's most visited museum, and it's a historic landmark in Paris, France. In 2022, close to 8 million people visited this museum. The Louvre is also home of some of the best-known works of art, including Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. If you plan on attending the Louvre, I will leave a link in the description below with information on how you can get tickets. Just a few meters from the Louvre, you'll see the Triumphal Arch of the Carousel. It is 63 feet high, 75 feet wide. It was completed in 1808, and it took 2 years to complete. Walking right down this path, and there's the Louvre off in the distance there. There's the arch that I was just at, and then you'll come upon this fountain, water feature here. And after walking that way from that one fountain, there's yet another fountain over here. So there's two of these big fountains in this area after leaving the Louvre. So this is right outside the Louvre entrance to the park, right through that way. And then, and this is the main road right here. This is the Fountain of Concorde, one of the two monumental fountains located in the Concorde. In the center of the Concorde, you'll find the Luxor obelisk. It was gifted from Egypt to France in 1830. It is 3,000 years old and stands 75 feet high. From the Luxor, 2 kilometers straight ahead at the end of Champs-Élysées, you'll come upon the Triumphal Arch of the Star. It's one of the most famous monuments in Paris. It honors those that fought and died for France in the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. This is the very popular Seine River, where you can take a day cruise right through the heart of Paris. If you're finding this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to receive more of this informative content, please subscribe to the channel. I post a new video every week. Next up, the Eiffel Tower. This is a must thing to do while in Paris. It is the most visited monument in the world with an entrance fee. Completed in 1889, it took 2 years to build. It was the centerpiece for the 1889 World's Fair. In 1991, it was named part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Notre Dame Cathedral is currently closed due to a devastating fire that happened in April of 2019. People still come here to appreciate part of the structure that is still standing. The target date to reopen the cathedral is scheduled for 2024, in time for the Olympics. This is St. Michael's Fountain, where street farmers often come to perform. The Palace Garnish has been called probably the most famous opera house in the world, a symbol of Paris like Notre Dame Cathedral, the Louvre, and the Eiffel Tower. This is at least partly due to the fact that it is the setting for the 1910 novel The Phantom of the Opera. The opera house opened in 1875. It took 14 years to complete. High atop the city of Paris, you will find Sacred Heart Basilica. It's located at the summit of the Butte of Montmartre. From its dome 200 meters above the Seine, the basilica overlooks the entire city of Paris and its suburbs. It is the most popular tourist destination in the capital after the Eiffel Tower. When you enter the church from the back, looking up you notice the massive pipe organ in the Sacred Heart Basilica. Looking towards the front of the church, notice the painted ceiling above the altar and the dome above the painted ceiling. This Roman Catholic church was completed in 1914. It took 39 years to complete. took so long partly because the original architect died and he was succeeded by 5 other architects who made extensive modifications through the years. Notice the big, thick, massive columns in this church, and from this angle, looking from the ground level up towards into the dome. The overall style of the structure is a free interpretation of Romano-Byzantine architecture. As I stand toward the front of the church, looking towards the back, notice the unique architecture style of this church. This is an up-close view of the altar. Notice the painted ceiling above and the detailed artwork. Behind the altar, they have several of these little chapels where you can stop and pray and appreciate. This one is pretty neat. It has its own little dome above. This was an unexpected, pleasant surprise. Just a 3-minute walk from Sacred Heart's Basilica, I came upon this little area called Place du Tertre. It was opened to the public in 1635 as Montmartre Village Central Square. This was a place from the 18th century until World War I where the locals came to display their talents from painters, songwriters, and poets. It's almost as though you've stepped back in time to that 18th century period where the artists would sit around and display their talents right before you. One thing is certain, no matter what style of artwork you like, whether it's portrait drawing, watercolor, or oil painting, you'll be sure to find that type of artist here in this square doing that type of artwork. With its many artists setting up their easels each day for the tourists, the Place du Tertre is a reminder of time when Montmartre was the mecca of modern art. Now leaving Place du Tertre, I head to my final destination, 3.5 kilometers away, Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. This is a Russian Orthodox Catholic church. It was established and consecrated in 1861, making it the first Russian Orthodox place of worship in France. So this is my first time entering into a Russian Orthodox church, so I was quite excited to see what it would look like, and 3 things jumped out at me. It was a lot smaller than I thought it would look like compared to the outside. Number 2, there's no seats around anywhere to sit. And number 3, there's no organ or any type of a musical setting. So that was interesting. I really like how they have attention to detail with the artwork here, with the the columns, and also notice alongside the saints that they have going up the columns, and then the 4 paintings they have around the dome itself, giving it like a 16th chapel type of a look. And then as you pan the camera down, this is a close-up view of the altar with all the saints and the artwork there. So I was quite impressed with my first time entering into a Russian Orthodox church. If you would like to see my other videos on Europe, please click on the link now. Thank you so much for watching.